Hey YouTube, I just wanted to show off my Steelbook collection to you guys today. I love collecting physical media, and in the time where streaming services seem to be all the rave, I'm doing something different. I'm going back to collecting Blu-rays and collecting DVDs. Uh, I've found that just it's so time consuming to figure out which movies on which platform, and you have to spend all this money. Amazon Prime, Netflix, and all these different streaming services just to figure out which one to get which movie. It's too much of a hassle. I've decided, so I've just decided to pretty much cut out all streaming services. I'm just down to Disney Plus right now because mostly of the new Star Wars and Marvel content, as those are two of my favorite recent franchises that have really popped up. The Disney Plus stuff, I'm a big Jon Favreau fan, and really have been enjoying The Mandalorian, and I loved some of Dave Filoni's older stuff in Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Clone Wars, and I've been enjoying watching those, and the new Bad Batch. But today I'm here to talk about Steelbooks. So I've amassed a Steelbook collection over the past few years, collecting Steelbooks. I really started collecting Blu-rays, DVDs, about back in 2013 when I first was working, so had money to spend on stuff like this. And yeah, so first one, so I'll go through sort of the standalone movies I have, and then I'll go through some of the franchises of Steelbooks / Metal Paks. I do have a few Metal Paks thrown in there as well. But yeah, first one is Fight Club. I picked this one up used not too long ago. And I just love the art on this one. Fight Club, interesting movie, very fun movie. With the twist at the end is really good. And I love these Steelbooks just because there's so much art on them, inside and outside. They can really do a great job on these. And so these are just incredible. Yeah, so I saw this one, picked this one up used. One of my favorite stores to buy movies at, Second and Charles. Which is owned by Books A Million, but Second and Charles specializes in secondhand stuff, and I've just really enjoyed their store. You can always find some good steelbooks at some decent prices there. So that's where that one's from. Yeah, and just the pink on the silver just really stands out, so that's a cool one. We'll put that one over the side, and we'll pick up our next one, Pitch Black. Really cool movie. Vin Diesel, quite some time ago now, but started a whole series of movies called Riddick, starring his character Riddick. And wow, look at this art. This art's incredible. I love just the black with the standout blue and the yellow. It's just so nice. It's one of the nicest steelbooks I think I own. I love the black contrast, and it's just incredible. It's a fun steelbook. I think I picked this one up at an FYE a while ago. New, for like $10 or something like that. But yeah, very, very nice one. Really good movie too, if you haven't seen it yet, or the rest of the series. Scott Urban's in some of the movies too, and it was one of the first times I really saw him before Star Trek. Lone Survivor. I'm a big Peter Berg fan. And a lot of his movies with Mark Wahlberg are real. I find quite intriguing. Really good. Some of probably Mark Wahlberg's best performances. And yeah, so this one I picked up to use as well at Second and Charles, and it's a good movie. I remember seeing this in theater when I was in college with my buddies, and we thought it was a good movie at the time, and I think it still stands up till today. But yeah, Peter Berg, I'm a big fan of his work. Big fan of Friday Night Lights and that franchise. And that would not exist without him. And so I continue to watch all those movies. Probably his favorite movie that he's done is, my favorite movie that he's done is Patriots Day. That's probably my favorite one. This one, art's pretty cool on it. It's very similar to the standard DVD art with the quote and the name on it. I'm not a huge fan of putting the names on the front. I really like how, or maybe if it's like hidden, I'm much more a fan of like the pitch black kind of style art where it's just sort of the art on the front. But yeah, this one's pretty nice, and this one has the credits and stuff on the back too. That's unique. No, most of them don't do that right on the back, so that's sort of cool. But yeah, that one was I just picked up for a few bucks. That's like in Charles a while back. Fury. This is a very fun war movie, or not. I guess fun is probably the wrong word, but it's a really cool story about all this tank battalion, and just how they're brothers. And I love this cover with, like I said, the way they incorporate the name right of the movie onto the tank. Really cool with Brad Pitt. This is, I think, again, one of Brad Pitt's probably best performances of his career. And yeah, great movie, really intriguing. Look at the war. And then I have a Metal Pak here. This is Patent. I picked this one up at FYE a while back. New, and this one's been beat up a little bit, as you can see. But I think the weather look for this movie sort of makes sense. Really cool movie, you know, from back in the day with Patton, all about his life in the war. A very good character look at him. Yeah, so pretty cool. I love the inside art on some of these with some of the shots is really cool. I don't know, yeah, like that one. Look at Patton holding the rifle, walking down. Pretty cool. And Patton was just an amazing general. He was an incredible man, and really had moral values, unlike a lot of other sort of people at the time. Yeah. Moving on. Top Gun 4K release. This one just came out, as you know. So I picked this one up at Best Buy. That's where most of these new release steelbooks come out. This one, I just love the art on it, like the comic book looking, drawn figures. Top Gun's just a classic. The back art is, to me, some of the coolest, with the F-14s like straying across, and it's got these silver lines like going across the back. Really cool. Really love that one. And again, the art inside is really cool. You're on the runway. You got an F-14. You got the guy directing. Really cool. Now I have a pop art one here. This is Taxi Driver, Martin Scorsese. I love the colors on this one. That's really sort of why I got this one. I'm not a huge fan of the movie, but I saw this since on HamiltonBook.com, which is a cool website if any of you have ever seen that one. But just it was a few bucks on there, so I picked it up. Yeah, and these are the other Project Pop Art steelbooks. They just do the blue inside, which is okay, but this movie is a good character study. Definitely a neat movie, but yeah, I mostly like just the art on it, and that's where I picked it up. I'm originally from the New York area, so fun look at some of that stuff. Gattaca 4K, again, got this one at Best Buy, recent release. Really good movie. I'm a big Ethan Hawke fan. And just really the purple inside I also really like on the steelbook, even though it's just a basic color. It's pretty cool just to have the purple there. Really cool movie, really neat story about a really neat science fiction movie about this guy who wants this job, and he can't get this job without certain things, and so he has to find a way to get those things. Pretty cool. This is probably, I think, the best looking steelbook that I own. This is Dread, the recent release with Carl Urban. I think I said something else earlier in the video, but I meant to say Carl Urban. I think I said Scott Urban. And yeah, this one's got a slipcover, which is really neat. Not too many steelbooks have slipcovers anymore, but yeah, this rear, I Am the Law on the motorcycle, just incredible. This art on this one is just so good. This is based off an old British comic book, and wow, so cool. Really cool movie too. Really good look at a future, or a dystopian future where we don't really have a say in our lives, and where sort of gangs can sort of overtake these mega blocks, these giant buildings that are sort of similar to the projects today or something like that, right? So it's an interesting look at that. Well, okay, so now we're getting into franchises here. So the first franchise we're going to look at is the Bourne franchise. Now it's, I guess, 5 movies long. So I only have 2 of the 5, though, on Steelbook. I have the rest on regular Blu-ray or DVD, but always looking to upgrade. This is the comic book one for Supremacy. Got this for like $6, I think, at FYE a while back. But yeah, the comic book ones aren't my favorite, but yeah, for a couple bucks or whatever, it looks cool enough. The red on the edge makes it stand out quite a bit on your shelf, so that's sort of cool too. Nothing on the inside of this one. Oh, did I open Dread? I don't even remember if I did. Let's take a look. I don't think I opened this one for you guys. But yeah, the inside art on Dread is really cool. With the eagle. Yeah, and so this is cool. They put the eagle as a theme throughout, right? Dread. He wears it on his shoulder. It's supposed to be this theme of like American freedom, right? But in the comic book, right? And but they don't necessarily have that freedom, right? And or they have freedom, but they don't have. They're judged very harshly, right? That's what this movie's about: is being judged immediately for your crime, and the punishments being dealt out when you commit the crime. So very interesting. But yeah, Bourne Supremacy. What's this one? So pretty cool. And then I have Bourne Ultimatum. And this one is the DVD, actually. Which I really like just the embossing on this version. Very cool. Silver edge. Clean. But the back is really neat to me. So this was, I think, a lot of the DVD steelbooks had this, where it was like the exact back of the DVD. Which is pretty neat. To get all the printing and stuff like that and the action shots, pretty cool. And yeah, and then you get all these inside pictures from the movie. I picked this one up for $2 at a used record shop near me, and was pretty impressed that they had steelbook for $2. So yeah, pretty neat find. So, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but as I mentioned earlier, but I only have one Star Wars Blu-ray on Steelbook. I'm really waiting for like either a 4K release for the Skywalker saga on Steelbook or something like that. The Last Jedi is probably my least favorite of the new movies. Actually, of the whole Star Wars franchise, I would say this is probably my least favorite of the movies. But, and it's not, I just think that there was no vision overall from the leadership at Disney on Star Wars, on the new trilogy. I think Dave Filoni probably should have been in charge. He's, George Lucas's protege, and it's a shame that he wasn't able to put more into the new franchise. I think they're finally giving him a lot of power now after how great Mandalorian worked out. But yeah, this movie not as good. Not as good as the originals by any means. And but I was in the store and I got this one at Best Buy on release. And I this one I saw it in the store, and I saw the regular Blu-ray and I saw the Steelbook, and this one was like $2 more, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get the Steelbook. It looks so much better. So that's the only Star Wars Steelbook I have, but hopefully they do 4K releases of them all soon or something, and I'd love to complete the collection of 4K Steelbooks here. All right, now we're getting into the DC universe, and I have 2 DC Steelbooks, Justice League and Shazam. And Justice League, not a great movie. I haven't seen the Snyder Cut yet because I don't have HBO Max. It looks like it's going to have a Blu-ray release soon, so maybe I'll watch it then, or find a friend with HBO Max and maybe watch it on there. But I just love the art of this cover, the comic bookness of it with all these characters. Jason Momoa, I'm a big Stargate fan, and so gotta love Jason Momoa. And yeah, the movie was not great, like I said, but I saw the Steelbook. I picked it up for quite a while after it had been released, this movie, so I didn't pay very much. I don't know, I think I got for like $10 or something, used. But yeah, it was a cool one, for sure. But yeah, just the art, the black and white, and that's why I picked up this Shazam one. This one I ordered on Zavi, imported from the UK, because I don't know if this was released in the US. I can't remember if this art was, or if it was released later. But this one, this is probably my favorite. This is easily actually my favorite of the current DC universe. Easily my favorite movie of that universe. I love the message of adoption in here and fostering. And this art is really cool. I'm a huge Chuck fan. So Zachary Levi being in this movie, really cool, really good look. The story is just so fun and uplifting. It's just such a different movie for DC. Such a different movie for Hollywood in general right now. And really appreciated that and wanting to show. And so I own, I think, 2 copies of this. I had an original one, the original 4K release first, and then I saw the Steelbook and decided I bought that one. So really wanted to show that that's a movie that I could get behind, and enjoy. The themes of that movie are just so good. Put those back. All right, and here go my last 3, and this is the new Star Trek trilogy. We have the Star Trek 2009, or Star Trek 11, or is it 11? Yeah, 10 is Nemesis, right? On Metal Pak, because this was before Paramount moved to Steelbook. And you got the Enterprise inside going through warp, and the back is just these little dust cloud fires going on, right? And then the edge, you got just the black Star Trek. And the cover is exactly the same as the regular Blu-ray, but the gloss on it, the Enterprise stands out. I don't know if you can see that at all in here, but the Enterprise has this really cool sheen on the front going through warp. That's just really neat. I loved this movie when it came out. I'm a big J.J. Abrams fan. Love the Cloverfield movies. Love Super 8 is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. That comes out on Steelbook in a couple weeks. Super excited to pick that one up. And I just really enjoyed this iteration of Star Trek. It's not the same as the originals by any mean. I grew up watching Star Trek. I grew up watching Next Gen and DS9 and Voyager and Enterprise, and love the original series. I think that very much is so important. Gene Roddenberry had an incredible vision for the world. Not a perfect vision for the world by any means, but I love the way that the original Star Trek and Next Gen specifically really brought up issues without forcing things down your throat, right? There's all the episodes are about questioning what you believe and trying to figure out if you believe things for the right intention, or do you believe things because you've never questioned it before and you've been told this your entire life and believe it blindly. That's basically what the whole show is about in a wrap. There's obviously episodes that go in so different themes, but overall I would say that that's the theme of Star Trek Next Gen, and probably the original series too. And I love that vision that Gene Roddenberry set forward. I just love the way that he challenges everyone who watches his shows. And so this movie is very different than that. It's very action oriented, but still a fun movie. And it's great to have Star Trek back on the screen. I'm not a huge fan of some of the newer stuff that's been going on with Star Trek, but I do think that Star Trek deserves a place in modern culture, and I'm glad to see it back on the screen, hoping that they continue and it just keeps getting better and better. Then we have Star Trek Into Darkness. I saw this movie in IMAX in the theater and was yes, there's this character right here, they really led up into the movie, like not trying to show who it was and whatnot, but I had an idea of who I thought it was, but and I was correct. But I won't spoil it for everyone who hasn't seen it. But I like the original iteration of this episode, the second movie of Star Trek, a little better. But this one's pretty cool. I think this Steelbook is really cool with the handcuffs showing the hands, and then this character walking through the city of London. That out, and and you can see him there in the brig. Pretty neat. And just still brig on that side. But yeah, definitely a cool Steelbook. Definitely a great one for the collection. Then we have Star Trek Beyond, the most recent of the new Star Trek movies. I heard a rumor recently that there is a fourth one for this series coming. I don't know how they're going to do that since the cast set looks a little bit different now. So we'll see how they pull that one off. I'm curious. But the art on this is fantastic. This reminds me so much of like, you know, the original trilogy, the original trilogy, not Star Wars, the original series. You've got like the red, yellow, and the blue uniforms. And you've got the Enterprise shooting through, and they made this Enterprise look. You know, I think it's because the nacelles are sort of constant width on this one instead of sort of the new one where they're that like, you know, bubbly shape or whatever. I sort of think that one looks a lot closer to the original Enterprise, so like that. But yeah, I picked this one up on release day. I thought the movie was fun. Not the best Star Trek movie ever, but definitely a pretty fun movie. Definitely pretty cool. Did I open this one yet? And you just have a star pattern inside, I believe, on the art, which has its place, but not the funnest inside art for sure. But yeah, so that's my Steelbook collection. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys collect Steelbooks? Or are you guys still collecting physical media? Let me know. Post in the comments.